The real reason why people will accept the mark. Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 to 17 of the King James Version says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." There is a great mystery surrounding the mystical number 666. This is not a mystery that has emerged recently. Even in the ancient world, scholars strove to discover who the mysterious man behind this number is. The truth is, to this day, no one definitively knows the meaning of this number or the name of the person behind it. Scholars of Greek, Hebrew, and the Bible have tried over the centuries to unravel the mystery of this name and number. The truth is, if we look at this number long enough and closely enough, the number 66 can fit any name. Although we do not know exactly who the man behind this number is, we know that the people alive during the time described in Revelation chapter 13 will certainly know who he is and what the number represents. If we were to ask most people now if, when the Antichrist comes with the mark of the beast, or if the time for the mark of the beast comes, they would accept the mark, the majority's response would be no. But the Bible reveals to us that people will indeed accept the mark. There are several reasons why people will accept the mark, and in this sermon we will explore these reasons. How do you think the devil will place the mark? What approach will he use to make people accept it? If we want to understand the devil's approach, we need to start with today's world. Many of us have heard about the mark of the beast, or that people will worship the beast and think that all of this will happen in a distant future, years or centuries ahead. But this is not true. I would go further and say that it has already begun, but people have not yet realized it. We may not yet be seeing the mark on people around the world, but are we not seeing what the mark means in the world today? The meaning of the mark is already in the world today, and we are turning a blind eye to it. There are three main ways the devil will do this, and we will expand on these three ways and how they are working in the world today. The three main ways are coercion, deception, and idolatry. Two of these reasons are interconnected. Idolatry depends on deception. No one will fall into idolatry unless they have been deceived by someone or something. These are the devil's plans to make people accept the mark. First, coercion. Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 to 17 of the King James Version says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." The second beast, known as the false prophet, will ensure that people have to accept the mark, because without it, no one will be able to buy or sell. Now, think about the pressure this will put on people. Imagine the tension this will place on the head of a family, knowing he cannot support his family unless he accepts this mark. See how far people will go to have money in their pockets. Some even resort to illegal activities, like armed robbery, because they don't have money. All this father needs to do is accept the mark, and then he can buy and sell again. He will try to resist, but when he sees a loved one suffering, he will give in. Think of a single mother, alone, who needs to care for her children. She might even know that her eternal destiny will be sealed by accepting the mark, but she will still go ahead and accept it, preferring to focus on the present rather than eternity. Isn't that what people already do? They focus on the present, but the Bible constantly reminds us that there is an eternity, and that is what people should focus on. Our decisions should be based on eternity. The second reason is deception. The devil's first approach on any occasion is deception. There is a reason why Jesus called this being the father of lies. We know technology and who invented it. Satan invented lies and deceptions. John chapter 8 verse 44 of the King James Version says, "Ye are of your father the devil, and the lusts of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it." Satan is the founding father of lies. If we look at the history of the destruction caused by Satan, we will see that his chosen method always included deception to some extent. Check anything that Satan has destroyed. He used deception. In the Garden of Eden, he used deception. He tried to use it on Jesus, but failed. He will use and is using the same method today in the world. Perhaps you think the devil will come at the end of the world and start deceiving many people or telling lies about his original appearance. In Revelation 13, there are two beasts. The first beast is the Antichrist, and the second beast is the false prophet. The false prophet endorses the Antichrist to the world and incites the world to worship the first beast. Now, see what the false prophet does in Revelation chapter 13, verse 14. "And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword, and did live. He will deceive those who dwell on the earth to receive the mark." The means of his deception will be through signs and wonders. People will see these wonders and marvel at the false prophet and listen to him as he directs worship to the Antichrist. Jesus said that in the end times false prophets would arise, showing great signs and wonders to deceive many. Matthew chapter 24 verse 24 says, "For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect." We all know that Revelation 14 details that 3 angels will be sent by God to preach the gospel. But this deception will be so powerful that even seeing the angels flying and warning them not to receive the mark, some will still accept it. We see this in Revelation 14. In the book of Revelation, John was able to record the prophecy of 3 angels. The prophecies of these angels are recorded in Revelation 14 verses 6 to 16 and should be taken into consideration so that we can be vigilant. Here we have one of the most striking scenes in human history. Angels will be seen by all, in every corner of the world, literally flying and preaching to men. What a sight! What a moment! We do not know the identity of these angels, but they are coming. People will be sitting in their homes looking out the window, and they will see these angels. People will be driving in the remotest places of the world and will see and hear these angels. People will be in the middle of the sea, but they will see the angels and hear the gospel. God will give the choice to all humanity to accept the gospel. God will warn humanity. God will plead with humanity, and that is what these angels will do: warn humanity, plead with humanity to make the right choice. He is a God who cares. The wonderful thing is that, as I preach this message, we are approaching the arrival of these angels. Every second, every minute, every hour, every day brings us closer to their arrival. Even though the gospel is preached by the 144,000, by the 3 angels, and by the 2 witnesses, the God of this world will still be at work, doing what the Bible tells us in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 4. "In whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine unto them." Number 3, idolatry. The third method is idolatry. After deception sets in, the first beast will become an idol. He will be loved and worshipped, even though he is empowered by the very forces of hell. He will still be a man, and people will worship him. The Antichrist's demand for worship will be so extreme that he will set himself up as God. A man will be worshipped. People might find this absurd, but people in this world already practice worshipping other humans. Look at celebrity culture, where people put other human beings on a pedestal, where people faint when they see another person, where people scream hysterically when they encounter another person. I have seen people bowing down and worshipping a celebrity. This culture has even infiltrated the church. Celebrity pastors are becoming more prominent. People should love their pastors but not worship them. I love my pastor, but I do not worship him. I care for my pastor, but I do not worship him. Honestly, we live in a culture of idols. Idolatry is anything you worship. Anything you put first in your life is an idol. Idolatry will arise when you are deceived. When you are an idolater, know this: you are not a child of God. I will repeat this. If you are an idolater, you are not a child of God. Do not say you are being judged or condemned. This is not the time to think that someone is condemning you. This is a warning, and it is nothing compared to the eternal condemnation that will come upon every idolater. You might be saying you are not an idolater, but you love money more than God. Matthew chapter 6 verse 24 of the King James Version says, "No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon." It's also in Luke chapter 16 verse 13 of the King James Version. "No servant can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon." You must love one and hate the other. You cannot love money more than God and say you love God. The Antichrist will be idolized, loved, and worshipped. Some people will accept the mark because of this, because he is their idol.